Welcome back, beautiful spirit and barking dog, to your sixth sense, your superpower. I hope you had fun discovering your spirit. It's like allowing your true self to finally, like a genie out of the box. It's like, finally, I have room to breathe. It's kind of what I call the container, my room to breathe. Now, we've been setting up the circumstances that you need to really be intuitive. And today I want to introduce the 4 basic decisions you need to make in order to just take off. And it's like, turn that light on. Now, the good news is this: to be intuitive is really to understand I have an inner mechanism that connects to everything. And it's hardwired. So I don't have to wire myself. I just need to know where the mechanism is. And it's not here. That's what we've been setting up. And it's not my ego. That's what we've also been setting up. And I need some space in order to really tune in to where that mechanism is. That's what we've been setting up. I need to know that it's not my noisy barking dog, or God forbid anyone else's noisy barking dog. So we're not going to listen to everybody's opinions. That's not it. We're in our space. We're in our spirit. Our barking dog is nice and quiet because we've taught it to breathe. And so now in that space, we have to make 4 decisions to activate your intuition. Imagine that you're in this beautiful mansion, just beautiful, but it's dark. The lights are out and you don't know where the light is. So you kind of fumble around and you look for it and you don't want to trip and you're really scared and you can waste an awful lot of time and you may never find it. But if you put yourself in that expanded space, I'll show you where the light switch is. It's right here. The light in your heart is here. This is where intuition comes through. Here and here, primarily. So you're never going to go to your head and you're never going to go to your intellect. We learned that. We're going to go to our spirit, because where does your spirit live? Right here. I've been teaching for a long time, over 30 years, and I've taught all over the world. I've been in China, I've been in Canada, I've been in Argentina, I've been in Mexico, I've been across the United States, across Europe, Asia, everywhere. And I ask audiences everywhere the question, where does your spirit live? And they instinctively put their hand on their heart. Nobody ever does this. I've never had, and nobody ever does this. It's like, we know my spirit lives here. This is where the voice of guidance comes from. Okay? And it kind of hovers between my heart and my solar plexus, because my spirit is also protecting me. That's why you go down the slide. You breathe and slide, and smile. Breathe, slide, smile. That will always put you in the space of your spirit. Create the space above, below, front, back, side to side. Sort of like the genie appearing. Your super self. Now, the 4 decisions you need to make to empower your super self, to let that part of you become the leader instead of your barking dog, are first to be open to intuitive guidance. Now, you think, well, I'm open, but are you really open? Do you really have a space and a place in your perceptions to say, my intuition is going to influence my decisions above all? What I feel from my super self is going to be the final choice. That's what's going to determine my guidance, my direction, my beingness. So are you open to that? This is, for a lot of people, a choice they haven't made yet. But I encourage you to try it with me through the rest of the course, that I'm just going to be open. Just open and see what happens. Now, I use the metaphor of being open like a radio receiver. So unless you turn it on, you're not going to receive anything. And that's what being open is. It's like, imagine you go into a radio and you turn it on. Okay, here. So that's step one. Now, step two is even more intentional. And that is this: expect your intuition to be present and to guide you. Expect that direct connection to work. You're hardwired. Your gut, your heart is hardwired for guidance. So when you turn it on by taking your attention here through breathing, breathe and slide right home, turn it on, and now you start expecting your intuition to guide you. And how do you do that? You ask it. It's a simple thing. I grew up with a mom who was completely deaf, had no education because she was a refugee of the war, and she didn't go to school past 12. She didn't speak the language when she came to America as a war bride. She had no outer influences. All she had was her spirit. But her spirit saved her life. Her spirit met my father. Her spirit brought her to America. Her spirit made her life work. So when I grew up, she would always ask us, she would say, don't listen to what other people say. Don't count on what appearances are in front of you. Don't listen to anybody else's opinion. Ask your spirit, what do I feel? What does your spirit feel? I remember one time I would ask my mom as a teenager. I had this idea that I was going to go out to a party and sneak out, and we're going to smoke pot, and we're going to do all kinds of bad things. And I had this whole plan with my mom that I was going to tell her I was going to go babysitting. And so I go tootling up to her as a 15-year-old, and I say, Mom, can I babysit tonight? I got a job. Can I babysit? And of course, I'm just lying through my teeth. And she looks at me and said, you know what? Before I give you an answer, what does your spirit feel? I'm like, darn. Because my barking dog had a whole plan, but my spirit told me this is not a good idea. You know what happened? I didn't go to the party, and I was really bummed out because I couldn't live with the dissonance and the incongruity. But that party was raided. And at that time, all the drugs were very illegal, and half of my friends got arrested. Protected me. I was bummed in the moment, but my spirit gave me the guidance, don't go. It also gave me the guidance, don't lie. So that's a very important part of intuition. You have to be open, but you can only be open if you're going to be honest. Your intuition won't work if you're not honest. And so you have to get clear that it's about the truth. It isn't about what's right. It isn't about what's wrong. That's opinion. That's barking dog. Because right or wrong according to who? What's right for me is wrong for you, and right for you and wrong for me. And so we'll never go there. We go to the third space. The third space is what feels true. True. Feels true. Not what I think. What feels true for me. Not for everyone, just for me, for now, in this moment. That is the front door into intuition. It opens and invites you in. You have to be willing to ask what feels true for me and then stand by that. So being open and expecting that to guide you will happen if you're honest. Now, the interesting thing is most people want to live this alternate reality that doesn't want to deal with truth, that doesn't want to deal with what's real. That's like, I have had people, as I've done intuitive readings my whole life, I've had people come and say, I don't want to hear anything bad. And I'll just smile and I say, well, what do you consider bad? Information that's truthful, but might disappoint you for now, but could save you a big heartache later. I remember I read for one woman, she said, I just met the man of my dreams. I don't want to hear anything bad. I want you to tell me what you intuitively feel. It's like, I can't. You just blocked me because what I'm feeling isn't mirroring what you want to control. So here's the bottom line. Don't ask your intuition to guide you unless you want to hear a real answer. And you might think that's obvious, but pretty much about 80% of the time, we may not We want to hear an alternative answer. When I'm going to hear that guy loves you, or she's my partner, or that job's the best, or you're going to make $1 million, instead of the truth, which can give you the foundation to actually have the experiences and attract the experiences that you want. So you have to be open and expect your intuition to guide you with the truth of a situation. The truth. Not the absolute empirical truth for the whole world, just for you right now. That's the key to living an intuitive life instead of being constantly disappointed, constantly wasting time and telling yourself things that aren't true. So you know what this boils down to? Don't betray yourself. Don't want to betray your inner guidance by saying, well, I go to this job and it'll eventually get better, or I have to do it, or I need to stay in this relationship, because the truth is you hate it. The truth, which your intuition is trying to say, is, look, I'll get you out of this mess and take you to where it'll work for you, but you got to want it. And this is really the bottom line, and we can't go forward unless you're willing to be honest with yourself. Now, the reason why we don't want to is because we want to believe some alternate reality that one of my teachers called emotional bullshit. Pardon me, and that's pretty intense, but it is. We give ourselves a lot of feedback that, no, this is really okay. This is going to be fine. And everything within the container in the field is chaos, saying alert, alert, alert. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong relationship. It'll never be right for you. Now, that is something that's really essential if you want to live an intuitive life. Now, here's the thing. I'm breaking this down to 4 steps, and we're only on the first 2. Be open and expect your intuition to guide you with the truth. And you want to be willing to hear the truth. But the truth will set you free. You have to think about, okay, maybe I'll be disappointed. I'm going to give you a quick story. A woman came to me for an intuitive reading. She said, I just got the best job offered to me. It's a dream job. It's to run a startup in San Francisco. They want to move me right there. The price of the salary is beyond exponential. I will be wealthy, and we have to go next month. I just want you to read and let me know what you see. And I just said, I don't see that it'll pan out. And she got really angry with me. I feel like it sounds good. It looks good on paper, but this isn't going to work out. There's something about this that isn't correct. And so she laughed. She said, I'm disappointed, but she got mad at me. So bam, shoot the messenger. But I didn't see that wasn't what she was hearing, wasn't the truth. Well, she went. And that company collapsed. Shortly after she got there, she disrupted her whole family. She ended up right back where we were in Chicago. She said, I looked at her and said, did you really not know? Did you really not feel it? Did you really not? She said, I did. I just didn't want to. And that's exactly why most people are not intuitive. People actually do get intuition all the time. You do. I know you do. That's not the trick. That is not the challenge. The challenge is, are you going to be honest enough with yourself to listen? So I just want to end this lesson with my favorite fairy tale. The fairy tale of the intuitive person is The Princess and the Pea. If you don't remember the fairy tale, there was a princess. The prince needed to have a bride, but she had to pass a test. And the test was to sleep on top of 100 mattresses, under which the bottom mattress was placed a little tiny pea. And the princess, the true princess, had to notice that. So everybody came and tried out and slept, and then the queen would say, how'd it go? Oh, great, I slept so well. And they were shown the door. One said, oh, I don't mean to be rude, and I don't want to disrupt, and I know that you did your best, but I could not sleep all night. What was under the mattress? Aha! She proved to be the true princess. She passed the test. She married the prince. She inherited the kingdom. So what does that mean? The princess is your intuition. It needs a partner. Your intellect, your ego, that's the prince. And the kingdom is the expanded exponential super life. But it didn't happen. It wasn't enough to feel the P. She had to say so. She had to acknowledge it. She had to be truthful, be honest. So this is a big deal. It'll change your life. But you have to do this. You have to get honest. Maybe you're not in the habit of being that honest with yourself, but do. I want you to write down the questions in your life today that you really are troubled about. Write them down. What troubles me? What decision am I troubled about? Should I, shouldn't I, yes or no? Breathe and slide. Ask your spirit. Write it down. Ask your barking dog, just for comparison. Or write it down. And then sit with it. And I'll see you tomorrow.